Abraham, who is the current chairman of GOPIO International. The greatest achievement of Dr. Abraham is initiating building several NRI, PIO, Indian Community Institution as follows: FIA of New York, NFIA, GOPIO, Indian American Kerala Culture and Civic Center, Jagdish Bhagwati Chair for Indian Political Economy at Columbia University, National Indian American Association for Senior Citizens, South Asian Council for Social Services, and the Indus Nanotechnology Association. He has taken up several issues of the global Indian community for the last 39 years and was presented with Bharat Vanshi Gaurav Award by former VP Bhairav Singh Shekhawatji and Pravasi Bhartiya Samman by the President of India in 2008 for his outstanding service to the Indian communities worldwide and India. He's an expert in advanced materials and nanotechnology. Dr. Abraham is president of Innovative Research and Products, a Stanford-based company, and a market research company. Please welcome Dr. Abraham.
Good morning. Thank you, Sudhir, for inviting me as a speaker. Good morning, good evening to those from India, and namaskar. We have already heard from many distinguished speakers, but I want to share some thoughts about my own thoughts about Gandhiji. Although in the last 2 years we have been homebound because of coronavirus, but that has also provided us an opportunity to celebrate virtually many national events with our diaspora members worldwide and people in India. For those who are not aware of GOPIO, GOPIO International is a pan-Indian community organization for NRIs and PIOs with over 100 chapters spread in 35 countries. It was formed in New York in 1989 when we reached out our diaspora to come together to jointly fight human rights violations of our diaspora community around the world. As Mahatma Gandhi did, community mobilization in South Africa, fighting the discrimination, civil rights, and human rights violation of South African Indians. Our own GOPIO movement was influenced by Gandhiji's movement to bring everyone together for a common cause, such as human rights violations of NRIs and PIOs around the world in the late 1980s. We had filed cases on behalf of Indo-Fijians, Indo-Sri Lankan Tamils at the UN Human Rights Commission in Geneva in the early 1990s. Within the first 10 years of our existence, our diaspora community had reached to political mainstream in many countries with larger diaspora population. Since then, our own objectives were changed to network diaspora communities around the world and look after the large interest of the community and India. I'm not an academician or a Gandhian scholar. I have been an Indian community activist for 47 years in the US. I would say a person with the longest involvement in the community in America and probably around the world. As an engineering student from Jaipur, I landed in New York in 1973 to pursue my doctorate in engineering at Columbia University. My own education in India didn't provide me opportunity to more about Gandhian philosophy and thoughts. However, by chance, I became the president of the India Club of Columbia University and later chairman of the Joint Committee of Indian Organizations, which I transformed to FIA New York. This is where I have learned more in Gandhian thoughts, where when I organized meetings and panel discussions to celebrate Gandhi Jayanti in the 1970s. At that time, there was only one institution in New York which promoted Gandhian ideals and thoughts. Beginning 1921, there was the Unitarian Church at 35th Street in Manhattan, where Reverend John Haynes Holmes embraced Mohandas Gandhi's pacifism, and militant nonviolence. After his retirement, the church continued the prophetic witness with the leadership of Reverend Donald Harrington. I had the opportunity to invite Reverend Harrington in many community functions in New York City. Later, I had the opportunity to work very closely with Gandhi Peace Foundation in Delhi and hosted Gandhian speakers in the later years in New York and other cities in America. Sudhirji already mentioned about many of the institutions I initiated, and all these have become big institutions. For all this work, Gandhiji's ideal of selfless work for the larger society influenced me. 3 quotes from Gandhiji always resonates with me. That is, be the change that you want to see in the world. Second one, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And finally, our Consulate General already mentioned about it. I did not want my house to be walled in all sides and my windows to be stuffed. I want the cultures of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible, but I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. Iron quote. In 1931, Albert Einstein wrote to Mahatma Mohandas K. Gandhi to express his great admiration for the Indian leader's methods. The letter reads in part, I quote, "You have shown through your words that it is possible to succeed without violence, even with those who have not discarded the methods of violence." Iron quote. Einstein, on the occasion of Mahatma Gandhi's 70th birthday, said, I quote, "Generations to come, it may well be, will scarce believe that such a man as this one ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth." Iron quote. When I see the respect given to Gandhiji all over the world, it pains me to see a big disinformation campaign against Gandhiji from some of our own countrymen with extreme views in India, and nothing much done to stop such disinformation. As we are paying tribute to Gandhiji, I hope and pray that people learn and know the truth about Gandhiji and follow his ideals. Even in this changing world, Gandhiji's Satyagraha, that is militant nonviolence, truth force and soul force is the best weapon to fight any injustice. I thank Sudhirji for giving me this opportunity to speak on this occasion. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Abraham. Before I bring in the next